So these are the most important 5 principles that you can actually look at and consider when you are doing business. Whatever that I bring to you, this is just an experience I bring closer to you. And it can also be of good help if at all you actually get this and put it into consideration as well. I have come to understand that for somebody to be successful in business, there should be some standards that you set to say, this I can't do and this I can do for my business. Business always has the do's and the don'ts. And somebody who means well to his business needs to have these do's and these don'ts. Okay, so I want to talk to you about 5 principles that are so powerful that can help you as you are handling your business. Never borrow above your means. It is okay to ask for help, right? And help can come in different forms. Help can come in terms of credit. You know, there are some times like you feel you need a hand from somebody to help you, and you also need, you need finances. Your business is lagging behind and all that stuff. You need to have help from somebody. And this is, business is always different from school. In school, when you go for help, they are going to catch you and they are going to punish you when you're asking for help. They'll call it malpractice. But this is different when you're doing business. When you're doing business, it's different. You don't want to be your own genius, but you also want to be the genius that people are proud of. And sometimes it's very, very difficult. Most of the people that are so successful, there was a time they had to ask for help. And help differs. The way you ask for help differs. Sometimes you may ask for help through finances. You might ask for help for somebody to come through and educate you in some areas that you're lagging behind. Right. So now, if you reach at a point where you need help, and this is financial help that you need, right? You need money. You need money to help your business pull through. What you need to understand is that you should never borrow above your means. This means that you should never borrow the amount of money you've never made before in your life. Okay? This is why most of the businesses crash. If at all you're talking about 10,000 kwacha, you want to borrow 10,000 kwacha and you've never made a 10,000 kwacha before, it will be very, very difficult for you to repay that money, because even when you are going to make that 10,000 kwacha, that will not be your money. You would have not made that money. Okay? That will be somebody's money. But if at all you actually you've made a 10,000 before, and you have to get a credit as 10,000, that will be easy because you've made that money before. So if at all things get quick, or if at all things get bad, you're going to repeat the same codes that you used to make that 10,000 kwacha and you give it back to the owners. But if you have to get credits and then you have never made that money before, then you're putting yourself in danger because you've never held that money before in your life. Principle number 2 is never should you risk your capital. Right. Never should you put your capital at risk. If you ever want to strike a deal that you are not sure about, you should never work within your capital. Right. If there is a business deal that you are checking and you are not sure of that business, you're not sure of that deal, it is very, very important to work within your profits. Okay. The capital you're having right now, it should be the same capital that you'll be with after 10 years from now. It should be the same capital that you have after 5 years from now. That is that's a core business. That's a main aim. When you're having capital, you should never fall. You should just be, climbing up. So the same capital that you're having right now should be preserved. Okay. So that capital, when you look at it, you must, with all concentration, with your power and might, you must actually preserve it. Right. So if at all there are some certain risks that you want to take, sometimes risks come out with, they always say business is all about risks, because even not taking a risk is also a risk. So if at all you have to take a risk and you don't know how that can go, it is not advised to touch on your capital. Preserve your capital, then work with your profits. It is okay if you lose the profit, but the capital still remains with you. In our language, we say that wesha ukushika kwa mumana okubonvya amori abiri ngalefu okumuntu okushika kwa mumana, you can't put in tetubike mu amori yonse abiri kwesha okurukumo kwa chala, so that ngana pashika pale you can still come back to the land. So that means that we don't try the depth of the lever using both legs. So you have to try using one leg, the other leg on the on the land, so that if anything comes up, then you're back on the land. So you should never put your capital at risk. Your capital must be preserved by all means. Point number 3 is respond to people's needs, right? When you want to do a business deal, make sure you are striking a deal to respond to people's needs. Most of the people, they start businesses not because they have seen the need for some people, but because they are just motivated to start. And what motivates them, we don't know. But a real business that has to last for years, you need to look at people's needs and you respond to what the people needs. If you respond on a different pace, that business will suffer. So you have to respond to people's needs. What do people need at this particular moment? You can't go to a village that doesn't have electricity and then you take their electrical bulbs, like those bulbs that work with electricity. That's business, of course. You have to sell and all that stuff, but you have not just responded to the needs. That village doesn't have electricity, and therefore whatever electrical equipment you've taken that side, they have no use with that place, right? So if you have to start a business, then you have to look at what do really people need, and then you respond to the needs of the people of that particular place. Right. Number 4, avoid long-term businesses. In other words, avoid long-term results. When you're just starting a business, to ensure the cash flow of money, you have to start a business that can bring results as quick as possible so that it maintains the flow of the money within that business. Right? What you need is money to come and move. Money come in and leave. Money come in and leave. And this leaving that I'm talking about is reinvesting. Money should never leave your hands. So you have to make sure that the money, you're having the money, shouldn't leave you. Right. So if at all you are starting a business, if you want to progress, never should you start a business that will give you results after 6 months. After 6 months, you'll have accumulated a lot of bills. You'll have accumulated a lot of credits. You see? So if at all you are just starting, make sure you start a business that will give you results as soon as possible. Right? If possible, it should never go beyond 3 days. It should never go beyond a week. Right? If you start a business, make sure you start those businesses that you know to say, if I get this, I'll sell this. If you get it, no matter how small the profit is, but if the cash is flowing in and out, then that's better. Okay? That's what you need. So you don't need to start a business that will give you results after 1 year, after 2 years. Avoid those when you are starting. It is okay for such, but not when you are starting. When you are starting a business, you should never go for such businesses because you will learn on credits. The last point is that never should you give a service to somebody without being paid. I'm telling you. Never should you lend your services or your goods to somebody without money. Let them pay you. It is very, very difficult to give someone a service and then to claim that money back. At least if you already have the system to say, there's already a system that is going to get the money back. But if you're only starting and your business is still small, don't you ever try to give people a service when they have not given you money. If they have not given you money, don't try that. If anything, let money come first. This has also happened, as taught people like in Zambia with those that are dealing with mobile money services. Before the awareness of scamming and all that stuff, what used to happen is that when somebody comes to them, like they want to deposit some money, they'll say, okay, I want to deposit some money. Somebody starts doing the transaction, and then at the end of the day, they discover that the person doesn't have money. So they were trying to scam them, right? So they will have rendered the service, but the money is not there. In the end, they end up being scammed and people steal money from them, right? So if at all, it's the same with the business that you're doing. If you want to lender, you start a business, you want to do a good business, you want to scale up your business from being small to big, what you have to understand is that never should you lender a service to somebody without money. Let them pay you money. Let them give you money before you give them a service or before you give them a product. This is what is going to help you. Trust me. If you overlook this end, you're going to end up very bad. You end up very bad. I want to tell you this. One of the most important things I've learned about life is that people lie. Even the Bible says so. People can lie. So never should you fall for the lies of the people. Never should you fall for the sweet talking of the people. Never should you fall for that. So if you have to lend your service, let it be in exchange with cash and money. That is all. Just need money and then you move on, right? So these are the principles that you have to look at if you have to scale up your business, right? So I've come to the end of this video. If this video is of good help to you, please give it a thumb. And also remember to subscribe and also come back for more videos. If you're watching me from Facebook, remember to follow me. If you're watching me from YouTube, remember to subscribe. It's Sika here, and for now, it's bye-bye.